My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is in the world. Wherever you are tuning in from, we have Stefanos Tsitsipas here against Denis Shapovalov, unfolding in front of our very eyes. Stefanos Tsitsipas serving first and is up 40-15. Sloane Stephens up against Camila Osorio. And we also have Yastremska against Zhang, and Yastremska and Zhang are on court and warming up. Tsitsipas holds, by the way, for one love. Let me know in the live chat who you think is going to win this. T for Tsitsipas or S for Shapovalov. Write it in the live chat and let me know. As we welcome those who are keen to keep across the Diana Yastremska and Zhang Shuai match. Great to have you guys joining us as well. Shapovalov here serving now at love 1. This is on Stadium 1. That was Janice Chen. $15 all here on the Shapovalov serve. He's peppering that backhand, but now he goes into the Stefanos forehand. It's the battle of the one-handers on the backhand, and that's a backhand miss there from Shapovalov, so it is 15-30. And he's missed the first serve there. Yastremska and Zhang warming up. Oh, and Sloane Stephens has got the break back on Osorio. Chapeau there, bit fortunate as Stefanos dumps a forehand into the net for 30 all. Smash here for Shapo, and he puts it away for 40-30. Oh, wonderful forehand cross-court pass there from Stefanos Tsitsipas. Deuce. And Yastremska and Shang have just got underway. Yastremska serving first, but it is Shang who wins the first point of the match. Remember, the winner of Diana Yastremska and Shang, the winner of this encounter, will play Alex Ialo in the next round. Nice volley there from Shapo on top of the net. So it's a game point for the Canadian. Thanks, Super Dave. Shapo there holds. Bit of a tricky hold for him, but he held all the same. Meanwhile, Yastremska under a bit of pressure already on her serve, 15-30. Camila Osorio was up a break on Sloane Stephens, but that has come and gone. Good to see a lot of people joining for Yastremska versus Shang. What have we made of day one in Indian Wells? Let me know some of your thoughts in the live chat. Berrettini, narrow win. So he's through. Chen, narrow loss. So she is out. Straight sets win for João Fonseca over Rafael Collignon. Bianca Andreescu won the first set, but then only won one of the next 12 games. So one of the next 13 games to crash out to Rakhmova. Good win for Jensen Brooksby in straight sets over the beleaguered Alexei Popyrin. Badosa is out, by the way. Forehand to the backhand of Shapo. Backhand slice there from Shapo. Stefanos comes into the net. Oh, probably should have let that go, and that might well have gone out. And instead, he puts a volley on top of the net into the net. So it's 15-30. Okay, now it's Shapo coming into the net. That is a sensational volley from Denis Shapovalov. 15-40. Just let me know in the live chat, right? T for Tsitsipas or S for Shapovalov. Who do you think is winning this clash? backhand there from... Oh! Wow! He apologizes for the miss hit. I think it was on the backhand side. But that forehand cross court, what a pass from Denis Shapovalov to get the break. So, Shapo up a break already. Meanwhile, Shang has got an early break up on Yastremska and leads 2-love. So a firing, quick-fire start for Denis Shapovalov over on Stadium 1 against Stefanos Tsitsipas, but also for Shang against Yastremska, with the winner playing Alex Ayala, of course, in the next round. Yeah, yeah, poor Manarino, yeah, indeed. Regarding Collignon, yeah, he's a good player, is Collignon. I interviewed him last year in Bonn. I went for a Shapovalov win today, but it is 51-49. I know Gil Gross has gone for the win for Tsitsipas. But yeah, I've gone for Shapo. $15-love. $30-love. Good aggressive play there from Shapo. Shapo looking comfortable here. Nice, comfortable hold to love there for Shapo. So, Tsitsipas serving at 1-3. Meanwhile, Yastremska is struggling against Shang. It's love 2 and deuce. Oh, and it's love 15 as well on the Steph serve. $15 all. Forehand here from Steph is going to clip the net and then go long. So 15-30. As he's cutting a bit of a frustrated figure right now is Stefanos. Down a break already in the early stages of this match. Okay, backhand here at 30 all though from Steph. It's a slice there, but it's on the forehand of Steph and he puts it away. 40-30. I'm not sure. I do know that Stefanos, I know who Stefanos' coach is. Ghosty here, very much supporting Shapo. Deuce here. Shapo goes long there, so advantage for Tsitsipas. So Tsitsipas does hold, so 3-2 change of ends. Let's have a look now over Yastremska, held, by the way, against Shang, and she was under a bit of pressure there going down potentially double break. And in fact, Shang now serving 2-1, 15-30 as Yastremska threatens to break back. Zeynep Sonmez, by the way, I think she was down 3-love, Sonmez, but she ended up going through in straight sets today. Some prediction here that Shang are winning 3. Anyway, we're at 15-30 here. Yastremska on the forehand. It's a good forehand down the line. And Shang can't deal with it. And it's going to be 2 break points for Yastremska, 15-40. To get this back on serve. Good return there, but actually Shang's dealt with it pretty well. And now she's gone long, so 30-40. Okay. Pulled off an all-nighter here in Germany. Do hit that like button, and of course, if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. Shang has gone long, so Yastremska breaks back. 2 games all in that fight. Meanwhile, Shapovalov is 3-2, 30 love. And Yastremska looking okay on serve here. 3-2, 30-15 she leads. So, Yastremska here, 30-15. Um, And Yastremska holds for 3-2. So a little bit of a turnaround here. 2 love down she was, and looked like could well have gone 3 love down as well. Don't think we've got the order of play out yet for tomorrow, by the way, have we? Oh, and Tsitsipas, by the way, is under pressure here on his serve. So let's switch over to that one because Yastremska's held for 3-2. This could be a double break. Love 30. Tsitsipas serving here. Forehand return. Backhand from Tsitsipas. That's another backhand from Stefanos. And Chapo can't deal with that. That was really good depth there from Stefanos. Especially on the backhand side. $15.30. I think Chapo played Carlos last year. I think he went out to Carlos. But I think there was an entertaining set between those two. Oh, that's landed in. Stefanos let it go. Ducked out the way. Didn't want to take on the volley. And it landed in. 15-40. So 2 break points here. Two break points. Chapo to return. Missed the first serve, Stefanos Tsitsipas. Second serve here for Denis Shapovalov to look at. Where are you going to go with this serve? Backhand return. Forehand from... Oh, Stefanos puts the forehand into the net. And Chapo is up 5-2. Double break. Well. 5-2. So that is looking very close. When they return to the court, Tsitsipas will be serving. Sorry, Shapovalov will be serving for the set. And Yastremska gets the break on Shang. Huge change of direction in terms of momentum in that match. 4 games in a row for Diana Yastremska. Four-two she leads. Very impressive for the Ukrainian. You mean because Shapo does it, I guess. Yeah, I think it's just showing off a little bit now. So Yastremska here serving at 4-2. Comes into the net. Dumps a volley into the net. Love 15. I will return to the Shapo-Tsitsipas match in a moment. Yastremska here at love 15. Down the tee, forehand return. Forehand from Yastremska goes into the net. So love 30. And Shapovalov serving at 5-2, but he is down love 15 on his serve. Meanwhile, Yastremska here at love 30 on her serve. It's a lengthy rally, this one. And Yastremska is going to miss a forehand. And it's love 40 as Zhang tries to get this back on serve. Second serve for Zhang to look at. Good backhand return, that one. And Yastremska goes long. So, 4-3, they're back on serve. Meanwhile, Tsitsipas and Shapovalov are 30-all with Shapo serving for the set. I'm going to tune into that to see if Shapo can get over the line in this first set. 30-all, Shapovalov to serve to win the first set and take a step towards the second round. (30-40), so a break point for Stefanos Tsitsipas. Deuce. And now Shapo is going to have a set point. (31 minutes on the clock. It's been a pretty swift set. Can Shapovalov win it by 6-2? Serves out wide. Now it's on the forehand of Shapo into the forehand of Stefanos. Shapo again on the volley, but this time Stefanos puts the backhand away, but it was close to going out. Deuce. Shang, by the way, at 3-4. She's got 40-30 on her serve. Okay, Shapo now with an easy forehand, and he puts it away, and he's going to have another set point. 5-2, set point number 2 for Denis Shapovalov. He's hit 14 winners in this match, compared to just 5 from Stefanos Tsitsipas. Backhand return, forehand from Shapo, forehand from Stefanos Tsitsipas goes into the net, and Shapovalov wins the first set by 6 games to 2. Meanwhile, Shang and Yastremska. I'd like to know, by the way, in the live chat, let me know who you think is winning. Z for Zhang, and write Z and click return in the live chat if you think Zhang is winning. If you think Yastremska is winning, hit the Y and hit return. Regarding that first set between Shapovalov and Tsitsipas, serve quality from Shapo, 8. Serve quality Stefanos, 7.1. Overall performance rating, by the way, Tsitsipas, 6.8. That is underwhelming, to say the least. 5 winners from Stefanos Tsitsipas across 8 games. That is also disappointing. And winning just 1 from 3 points at the net, Stefanos. There were 1 or 2 sumptuous volleys from Denis Shapovalov, to be fair, as he won 8 from 11 at the net. And it is Shapovalov who takes first blood by winning that first set by 6 games to 2. Yastremska has a break point on Shang to go up 5-3 and potentially serve for the first set. Can the Ukrainian take this opportunity? She was down a break in this set, but now she's seeking to break and therefore serve. But Shang saves the break point. So we are back to deuce. She saved it nicely there with a winner as well. Okay, backhand return is incredible from Yastremska. Boy, oh boy, that is redlining. Forehand here from Yastremska. There's a winner. Incredible forehand winner there from Diana Yastremska. And she gets the break. Not that you'd know it from the reaction on her face. And so Yastremska will serve for the first set. Okay. Good return, though, there from Zhang. Love 15. And yeah, Zhang is pushing. It's not going to be an easy hold here for Yastremska. 15-30. Good serve there, 30 all. Good serve down the tee that Zhang can't deal with, and we're going to have a set point now for Diana Yastremska. So, set point here at 40-30. Misses the first serve by a long way. Second serve for Zhang to look at. She throws the ball up Yastremska, but catches it again. It's a misplaced ball toss. Backhand return. Forehand from Yastremska. It's too good. Diana Yastremska wins the first set by 6-3. And when she was down 2-love and almost 3-love, as Zhang threatened to run away with the first set by going up a double break, things were not looking good for the Ukrainian. But boy, oh boy, with some of those flat-hitting, incredible strokes, she ends up prevailing in the first set by 6-3. So if Zhang is to prevail and set up a clash with Alex Ayala, she's going to have to do so from a set down. Meanwhile, what is going on over in the clash between Tsitsipas and Shapovalov? Shapovalov is up a break already at the beginning of the second set, albeit that Shapovalov is down love 30 on his serve. So Tsitsipas threatening to break back immediately, but ultimately the advantage is with Denis Shapovalov right now, up a set and a break. But this next couple of points will be huge. Yeah, should do. Indeed, Super Dave. Indeed it is. I always remember Rafa picking on various backhands, including Stefanos's. Run around forehand return there from Stefanos. Run around forehand again from Stefanos. Backhand from Shapo. Forehand Shapo goes long. Love 40 now. Cutting a very frustrated figure there. By the way, Zhang and Yastremska have already begun their second set, and Zhang has already love 30 down on her serve. 3 break-back point opportunities here for Stefanos Tsitsipas. It's his... If he was to break, it'll be the first time he did so in the match. It's the 5th service game for Shapovalov. Yastremska has 3 break points on Zhang, by the way. And he's going to miss-hit that backhand, much to his frustration. So it is 1 game all. They're on serve, Tsitsipas and Shapovalov, in this second set. As Tsitsipas breaks to love. A couple of unforced errors there to finish that off, including a backhand shank there. So 1 game all, Tsitsipas to serve. Meanwhile, Yastremska gets the break on Zhang. Good return there from Shapo, and Tsitsipas can't deal with it. Love 15. Yastremska leads by a set and a break over Zhang. Remember, the winner of Yastremska and Zhang will play Alex Ayala in the next round. Unreturned serve, 15 all. backhand return from Shapo's not bad. Wonderful forehand, though, there from Stefanos. Remember, this is a big point. Good forehand again from Stefanos. Shapo defends, and Tsitsipas messes up that forehand. He went way too big, and it didn't land on the island, so we've got 15-30 here. The Greeks' year, is it about to go from bad to worse? Yastremska, by the way, 15-30 on her serve. Shapovalov is going to have some break points, by the way, to immediately regain the advantage. Second serve here, backhand return, forehand from Shapo. Oh, goes into the net, does Shapo, 30-40. So, still another break point though here for Shapovalov, 30-40. Misses the first serve, does Tsitsipas, run around forehand return. Forehand from Tsitsipas is too good. Deuce. Good serve out wide from Stefanos. Not going to be able to deal with that one, Shapo. And so we have a game point for Stefanos Tsitsipas. Yastremska's trying to consolidate that early break. She does have an advantage on her serve. And she does consolidate. 6-3, 2-love. Yastremska leads. Good forehand there from Tsitsipas. Another good forehand from Tsitsipas. Can Tsitsipas put this away? He can. And so, Tsitsipas now leads by 2-1 at the beginning of the second set. He's a funny boy. I'm not sure that forehand is as much of a weapon as it used to be. Okay, so Zhang here serving. Love 2, and she's down love 15 as well. I know, yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, if you just got a massive serve, because at least you know you're hitting 4 serves every game. You can't be sure you're going to hit 4 forehands every game. What a return that is from Yastremska, by the way. Love 30. She threatens to run away with this second set. She's just hitting lights out tennis at the moment. But I think she's just missed that return. Yeah, she has. 15-30. Okay, first serve clips the net and lands in. So it's still another first serve here for Zhang. Wonderful backhand there from Zhang that Yastremska can't deal with. Shapovalov has held for 2-2. And by the way, Zhang as well has also held for 1-2. Let's go back over to Shapovalov against Stefanos Tsitsipas. No, I'd still say his forehand is the bigger weapon. Just compared to his peers. The serve for Alcaraz, I guess, is top 10, but his forehand might be top 1. Might be. Okay, Tsitsipas against Shapovalov. Tsitsipas to serve. 2 games all. So they've exchanged breaks and now they've exchanged holds in this second set. Missed that forehand quite badly, that return, Chapo, love 15. Do hit that like button, by the way. Watch what happens when you hit the like button. Some funny business goes on if you hit that like button. I'm telling you. Tsitsipas misses the first serve, so 15 love, second serve. Forehand returned. The forehand of Stefanos. Forehand now from Chapo is pretty big, but Stefanos defends it. Can he defend this backhand cross-court? What a cross-court that was from Tsitsipas. Shapovalov came into the net and couldn't deal with it. 30 love. Good serve out wide there from Stefanos Tsitsipas and a wonderful forehand for 3 game points here at 40 love. (40-15). Meanwhile, Yastremska is under a bit of pressure on her serve. She is up a set and a break after 45 minutes on Stadium 4. But Zhang is threatening. Forehand into the net from Chapo, meaning Tsitsipas is held for 3-2. Let's go back over to Stadium 4 to see how Yastremska and Zhang are playing. Are we going to get a break point here for Zhang or a game point for Yastremska? Yastremska has a game point, and in fact, Yastremska has now held for 3-1. So, over to you, Zhang. Serving at 1-3. You're talking about Shapo and Tsitsipas. Right now, I would say the Shapo backhand is marginally better. And the Tsitsipas forehand is marginally better. But it used to be a lot better. Tsitsipas's forehand. And yes, serves equal. So I think that's where we're at. That's why it's a pretty even clash in terms of like who was the pre-match favorite. Okay, Yastremska here threatening in this first point. But that's a wonderful backhand up the line from Zhang for 15 love. Okay, Shapovalov here, love 30 on his serve. So some pressure here for Dennis. Good return there from Yastremska, 15 all. Okay. Good return again from Yastremska to get it to 15-30. Big couple of points over on Stadium 1. Love 40 now. 3 break points for Stefanos Tsitsipas to take a 4-2 lead in the second set. Remember, he was down an early break in this set, and yet now he could be going up a break himself. Double fault from Zhang, and we've got 2 break points for Yastremska. Tsitsipas gets the break. He leads 4-2. Two break points there for Yastremska. And she's going to get the break. Good aggressive play there from the Ukrainian. She leads 4-1. And that is a double break advantage that she has. Very close now to the second round and a clash with Alex Ayala. Meanwhile, can Stefanos Tsitsipas consolidate his break advantage that he holds over Denis Shapovalov? Yastremska and Zhang are at a change of ends. But Yastremska leads 6-3, 4-1. And that 4-1 is a double break advantage. Not even hit the hour mark in that one. Good good backhand return there from Shapo. And the drop shot there from Tsitsipas on the backhand side does not work. So it's love 15. Can Yastremska get this done in under an hour? I don't think so, but you never know. She wins the next 2 games. Could serve down the tee, and Shapo can't deal with it, so it's 15 all. Serve out wide. Shapo with the backhand return. A wonderful forehand there from Stefanos. Stefanos with a volley. A little uncomfortable looking volley, but nevertheless it was effective. 30-15. Yastremska and Zhang are back on court. The Ukrainian leads 4-1 in the second set, and it's 15 all on her serve. Good serve out wide that Shapo can't deal with. 40-15. 2 game points here for Stefanos and a 5-2 lead. Yastremska is 2 points away from a 5-1 lead over Zhang in the second set. Yastremska is 2 games away from winning the match. Tsitsipas is 2 games away from forcing a deciding set against Shapo. Forehand return, and Tsitsipas can't deal with that. So it's 40-30. Don't think Iala will be Goff in the event. No revenge happening. No, I don't think so either. Yeah, it was a painful loss for Chen Rainier. Yeah, indeed. Okay, Tsitsipas on the forehand here. Backhand there from Shapo. Another backhand required here from Shapo. Still forehand to backhand, which is not a combination that Shapo will enjoy. But now Tsitsipas misses the forehand. Deuce. But of course, Iala will have to beat the winner of Yastremska and Zhang before thinking about Coco. No guarantees. Although I wonder if she might have a better chance against Yastremska. Good forehand there from Tsitsipas, and Shapo can't deal with it. Game point again for Stefanos on 5-2. Yastremska, by the way, is held for 5-1. They could be coming to the end of their clash. They could be. Zhang is serving at 1-5. Tsitsipas holds for 5-2. Draper has made improvements on the forehand, but I still think he's inconsistent. It used to be Stefanos. I mean, before that, of course, Rafa, before he retired. But now, as you probably, there's a few possibilities in there. It's not Manarino, though. That's for sure, Dave. Okay, let's switch over because Zhang is serving to stay in the match against Yastremska. The next person for Yastremska, if she wins, will be Alex Iala of the Philippines. I say if she wins, of course, she should win from here. Double breakup, 5-1 in the second set. Yeah. Okay, 15 all here. Zhang serving 1-5, 15 all. Over in the other match, Shapovalov, when they return to the court, will be serving to stay in the second set. Quite remarkable that Tsitsipas is in this position, having been down a set and a break. Okay, Yastremska here on return. 15 all, second serve for the Ukrainian to look at. Backhand return. Backhand from Zhang. Backhand from Yastremska goes into the net. So 30-15. A reminder, Yastremska won the first set by 6-3. She was down 2-love. But ultimately won 5 of the next 6 games. She's also won 5 of the next 6 in the second set. And therefore she's on the precipice of victory. She can't deal with that serve, though. 40-15 and 2 game points for Zhang. Shapovalov, by the way, 2-5. He's serving 30 love. He leads. Serves down the tee. Backhand return. Backhand now to backhand. Now it's on the forehand of Zhang. Cross court into the forehand of Yastremska. Goes into the net. And Zhang holds. So, when they return to the court, Yastremska will be serving for the match. Shapovalov, 2-5, 30-15 in this second set. Remember, Shapo did win the first set by 6-2. In fact, Shapovalov won 7 of the first 10 games. No, 7 of the first 9 games, sorry. But Tsitsipas has fought back since then by winning 5 of the next 6. Nevertheless, Shapovalov does have 2 game points here to at least keep Stefanos Tsitsipas honest. So 40-15 for Shapovalov. Do hit that like button, and if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe. And if you hit subscribe, this number here will tick over, and you'll know that it was you who made the difference. Okay, 2 game points here for Denis Shapovalov. Serves, forehand return from Stefanos, forehand from Shapo. It's a forehand battle, but now it's onto the backhand of Stefanos. Backhand from Shapo cross court. Stefanos almost gets to it, but doesn't quite. Or at least he got to it, but didn't get it over the net. So, Stefanos Tsitsipas to serve at 5-3. He is serving for the second set. Diana Yastremska is serving for the match. Tsitsipas serving for the second set, 5-3. He leads. Diana Yastremska leads 5-2 as we head towards the hour mark on Stadium 4. 5-2, 15 all for the Ukrainian. She is serving. 3 points away from the win. Stefanos Tsitsipas, by the way, going to have new balls to serve for the set, which is a small advantage for the Greek. And Yastremska's not going to have it all her own way. 15-30. Backhand return there from Shapo into the forehand of Stefanos Tsitsipas, but he misses it. Love 15. Are we going to see a couple of players here that are serving for something, not serve it out? We'll see, because Yastremska's down 15-30, but she has got it to 30 all. She has got it to 30 all, so she might be getting a match point. We're going to switch over now to that match with Diana Yastremska 2 points away from the victory. Tsitsipas, by the way, love 30 on his serve as he tries to serve for the set. So Shapo is threatening to get that break back. And Shapo now has 3 set points. 3 break points, I should say. Love 40 on the Stefanos Tsitsipas serve. Bit of a break fest in a way. 2 breaks in the first set. And we've had 3 in the second. It could be a 4th one here from Shapo. Okay, 30 all here. Yastremska serving. She's 2 points away from the victory in a place in the second round where she would play Alexiala. She does miss the first serve. Tsitsipas has saved the first of 3 set points. 3 break points. I keep saying the same. Unreturned serve from Zhang. Or I should say an unreturned serve from Yastremska. Zhang couldn't return it. And so we are going to have our first match point for the Ukrainian, Diana Yastremska. Let's see, where are you going to go with this serve? You are going down the tee, but you're going to miss the first serve. So a second serve here for Zhang to look at. Yastremska, bright yellow. Just composing herself. She wants to get this serve in. She does, unreturned, clenches her left fist. Not too much emotion from the Ukrainian, but she wins 6-3, 6-2 to progress to the second round in an hour and 1 minute. And of course, she will play Alex Ayala in the second round in Indian Wells. They have played each other before last year in Eastbourne, and Ayala won that match in straight sets. But with Yastremska, you never know what performance you're going to get. Well, today, she was down 2-love to Zhang, and Zhang did get close to 3-love and a double break advantage. But Yastremska would go on to win 5 of the next 6 games. Well, actually, so I should say 6 of the next 7 games in that first set to ultimately win it by 6-3. And then she also ran away with the second set. Some of those returns from Yastremska were insane. Striking the ball so early and so cleanly to set up that second round clash with Alex Ayala. Yastremska also hit 5 aces and Zhang didn't hit any. Yastremska did hit 5 double faults, but was also aided and abetted by 3 double faults from Zhang. First serve percentage from Yastremska, 60% of her first serves were landing in, and she won 67% of those first serves. She only won 41% on her second serve, Yastremska, so that was a vulnerable element to her game. But listen to this. She was killing the first serve from Shuai Zhang because she won 60% of Zhang's first serves. And she ended up winning 59 points to 45. So she is through to the next round. Is Diana Yastremska after that straight sets win over Shuai Zhang. Wasn't super comfortable for her all the time, but she is now going to be playing Alex Ayala in the next round. And Alex Ayala and Yastremska have met before in Eastbourne qualifying last summer. And that was a match that actually Alex Ayala won pretty comfortably. 2 sets to love, 6-1, 6-2. And so their head-to-head is 1-0 in favor of the Filipina. Some of the details regarding that particular encounter in 2025, by the way. I'm just going to have a look at some of the career stats from the 2 players. 3 singles titles for Yastremska on the main tour, none for Alex Ayala. Of course, Alex Ayala is very much at the beginning of her career, with her second year, I would say, on the main tour. In that match, by the way, last year, neither player hit an ace, which is kind of surprising on the grass. And yeah, Ayala crushed her, but she did have to save quite a few break points as well. So maybe the scoreline was a bit of an exaggeration in terms of how Ayala won it. But Ayala got 74% of her first serves in. She'll be keen to maintain that. She'll also be hoping that Yastremska has an off day, because Yastremska is a 50-50 player. She is a lights-out player who just goes for everything. But Yastremska, by the way, will be attacking that serve of Alex Ayala's. And I think Alex Ayala will once again want to be getting somewhere around that 70 to 75% first serve percentage in, as she did in Eastbourne last year. If she does, I think she'll have a great chance of winning the match, or at least pushing it to a third set. What she will hope, though, is that Yastremska doesn't have such a good return day as she did today against Zhang. This is, of course, Ayala's first match in the desert. I do think Alex prefers slightly quicker hard courts rather than the slow hard courts that we tend to get in Indian Wells. And Iala, I think, will be revitalized after the break that she'll have had since her Dubai loss to Coco Gauff. So that is good news for her. She's obviously been Indian Wells now for a few days, where she's been seen on the practice courts and seems to be in fine fettle. Where she'll have a slight disadvantage, though, is that Yastremska has now played a match and losing just 5 games, by the way, to Zhang. And so Yastremska will be hoping to keep that rhythm. Now, what I will say, though, is it's not all doom and gloom for Alex Ayala. She will look to attack the Yastremska second serve in particular. And I do think she'll have more joy than Zhang had today compared to Yastremska's serve. Although Yastremska's second serve was also attacked by Zhang to some extent today, but I do expect Ayala to attack it with equal verve. And Ayala will look to move Yastremska around, and she'll also look to take her by surprise by taking balls early and on the rise. Regarding Yastremska's form this year, I think this is also something that Ayala can take some heart from, because Yastremska's not really been pulling up any trees. She lost in the first round in Merida last week to Stakusic in straight sets. She also lost in the first round to Chen in Dubai, a tournament where Alex Ayala excelled, obviously getting to the quarterfinals before losing to Coco Gauff. In Qatar, Yastremska won against Buxa, but then lost in straight sets to her fellow Ukrainian Svitolina. In Abu Dhabi, she won 1 and lost 1. In Australia, by the way, Yastremska went out in the first round. It is a tournament where Yastremska has, of course, been in the semi-finals before. She also lost her first match in Adelaide and lost her she won 2 matches in Brisbane and then lost 1 as well. So, yeah, maybe Brisbane was her best tournament this year when she got to the round of 16, and she hasn't really been doing much damage elsewhere. There were 2 wins and 1 loss in Brisbane, and then she lost in Adelaide, so that made it 2-2. She then went 2-3 after losing in Australia. She then went 3-4 after the Abu Dhabi tournament. She then goes 4-5 after Qatar, and then it becomes 5-5 after Dubai, 5-6 after Merida and Indian Wells now with that win today. She has 6 wins and 6 losses to her name. So not a great start to the year for Yastremska. Not the worst, but a 50-50 win-loss ratio. As for Alex Ayala, her year, I think, has been slightly better, but we're just going to check the stats for that. She had 3 wins and 1 loss in New Zealand. She lost in the semi-finals there to Wong. In Australia, she had a loss in the singles, so that makes it 3-2 for the year. She then plays the Philippine Women's Open, the 125 in her homeland, where she had a couple of wins and a loss to Camila Osorio. So that makes it 3, 4, 5, and 3, 5 and 3. She then lost she then had 2 wins and a loss in Abu Dhabi, where she got to the quarters. So that makes it 5-3, 7-4 for the year. Qatar, she lost first round, 7-5. She then has 3 wins in Dubai in the 1000 event there. So that makes it, I think, 10-5 for the year, I think. We can just check that on the WTA website. But 10-5 is she for the year, maybe, in terms of her win-losses. I will confirm. But I think it's been a pretty good year. And certainly, in terms of win-losses, better for her this year compared to her opponent in the next round, which will, of course, be Yastremska after that win that I just highlighted today. But anyway, yeah, something like that, which I think is very impressive for her for what is still only her second year on tour. Of course, she is a left-handed, coached by Joan Bosch. So they'll be keen to get at least 1 win in Indian Wells, and then the winner of this could potentially be playing Coco Gauff. Okay, let's head back to Tsitsipas and Shapovalov. Tsitsipas has won the second set, so we are now into the third set, and they are on serve. $15 all here on the Shapovalov serve. Okay, hitting forehand's pretty hard now, but it's under forehand of Stefanos Tsitsipas going cross-court into the backhand of Shapo. Shapo now on the left-hand forehand winner, 30-15. Excuse me. Welcome to those of you that were just watching the Zhang Yastremska match. Welcome to the Stefanos Tsitsipas Denis Shapovalov encounter. This will be our last live stream of the day, but we'll have plenty more live streams coming up in the coming days from Indian Wells, including the Yastremska Alex Ayala match. We'll be bringing to you that match live, and loads more content as we continue to bring you coverage of the first leg of the Sunshine Double. Okay, Shapovalov into the backhand of Stefanos Tsitsipas. It is 40-15 here as Shapo looks to hold serve, and he does hold serve 4-2-1. Remember, do hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, click subscribe and watch this number tick over. This number below me will tick over, and we're going to get closer and closer to 26,000. Pretty optimistic we'll hit that 26,000 at some point during this Indian Wells tournament, maybe even in the first few days, if we're lucky. Nice hold there for Shapo. He did threaten to break the Stefanos Tsitsipas serve. In fact, I'll tell you what we're going to do now. We are actually going to have a look forward at the Indian Wells draw. And we'll maybe have a look forward to some matches on the, let's start with maybe the men's side of things. Oh, okay, so Fucsovics came through in the end, did he? Okay. So we're going to have Lorenzo Musetti against Marton Fucsovics. Fucsovics there coming up. O'Connell, beat O'Connell in his match, which actually at times didn't look great for the Hungarian, but ultimately he did prevail. 7-5, 6-3. Lorenzo, of course, has been off the tour and hasn't played since the Australian Open. So that might be something beneficial for Fucsovics, especially as he has played a match and won against the qualifier O'Connell from Australia. So that's good news for Marton. Lorenzo, by the way, has never been super deep in this tournament. He's never been as far as the semis, for example, in the past. But we have seen Lorenzo make some big improvements to his game this year, and none more so than on the serve. And was, of course, very unlucky to not beat Novak Djokovic in Australia. He was up 2-0 when he got injured, but physical issues have been a problem for Lorenzo in the past. He's never played Marton Fucsovics before. They have a head-to-head of 0-0, but Fucsovics ranked 56, age 34. Lorenzo is, of course, now at a career high I think it's a career high. If it's not career high, it's more or less a career high of number 5 in the world. He might have even touched number 4 in Australia. I'm not sure for the 23-year-old. But he had an excellent start to the year. And Gil Gross, I know, is very big on Lorenzo's chances this year of probably finishing in the top 5 in the world. I'm not quite so sure that I'd have him that high. And I do think that still, ultimately, hard court will be the weaker surface for him compared to the natural surfaces. But he has made some improvements, as I said, to that serve in particular. And therefore, I do expect him to prevail against Marton Fucsovics, but maybe he'll need to do so in 3 sets. Prismic, by the way, coming through one of the matches of the day, no doubt, against Skulkate. 7-6, 3-6, 7-5. I did have Prismic edging that one pre-match, and it turned out to be the case. But what an epic encounter that was. Prismic, by the way, is now going to be playing Artur Fils in the next round. Fils, of course, had a fair bit of time off the tour, having had that back injury that he incurred at the French Open last year, and we barely have seen him since. But he has been easing his way back onto the tour and ultimately had a really good run recently at an ATP 500, where he got to the final before losing to Carlos Alcaraz in a pretty dispiriting manner. But ultimately, that week has to go down as a huge positive for Artur, given the amount of time he has off the tour. He'll also go into this match, I think, as a fairly warm favorite. Fils' ranking is currently 32 going into this tournament, but that's a bit of a unfair reflection on really where Artur is at compared to Dino Prismic, who's ranked 119. But Prismic is very young as well, just 20 years old, and Artur Fils too. But I think Fils has a good chance of going deep at Indian Wells. I think it should be, he's getting better and better and better, and I just love his movement. And I think ultimately he will have too much for Prismic, and I think it'll be a straight sets win for the Frenchman. Andre Rublev against Gabriel Diallo, by the way, does have the makings of being a bit of a blockbuster. Rublev has often struggled in the desert. A little bit surprising in some ways. He doesn't mind slow conditions, I find, but for some reason it hasn't really worked out for him. Diallo had a really, really good win over Bellucci today in straight sets, 7-6, 6-4. And I think for Rublev, for a first match, don't come much tougher than this. They've never played each other, by the way, before. But as I say, don't come much tougher than this, because when you're in the first round, you can't play anyone really inside the top 32 in the world. And yet Diallo is ranked 38. So it's a really rough first round for the 28-year-old Rublev coming up against the 24-year-old Canadian. Plus, Diallo has had a match. So I think there's a lot of signs that this could well go the way of the Canadian. Gabriel will be looking to have a really good serving day as he takes advantage of his height advantage over Rublev. He is 6'8", don't forget, 203 centimeters, as the two right-handers go head-to-head for the first time. Diallo, of course, only turned pro 3 years ago, whereas Rublev, of course, is much more experienced, having been on the tour for 12 years. And it's not even a battle when it comes to career titles, with 17 in the pocket of Andre Rublev, including Masters 1000 titles on the clay of Madrid and Monte Carlo. Just the one career title for Gabriel Diallo. And so, therefore, you would imagine that Rublev will be the favorite. I'm sure he is in many people's eyes. By the way, that Diallo career title came at the Libema Open on grass, where he does tend to excel. But actually, I'm going to go for a Diallo win in 3 sets. Gael Monfils against Felix Auger-Aliassime is going to be coming up in the second round at Indian Wells. And that follows Gael Monfils' 6-3, 6-4 win over the Canadian qualifier Galano earlier on today. And it was a fairly comfortable win for the Frenchman to set up that clash with Auger-Aliassime. Monfils, of course, getting a wild card in what is going to be his last year on tour. So this is going to be his last appearance in the desert. Will, though, his match with Auger-Aliassime, be his last match at Indian Wells in his career? Well, their head-to-head is 1-1. Gael Monfils' only win over Felix Auger-Aliassime came in 2020 in Rotterdam in indoor conditions there. Of course, that is a condition that Felix has gone on to excel in, but this is probably 2 years before Felix really hit the ground running indoors. They did play again in indoor hard at the Laver Cup, which is what is included in this head-to-head. Whether you think the Laver Cup should be included in head-to-head, perhaps that's a debate for another time. But yeah, Felix won that one 6-4, 6-3. So 1-1 head-to-head, but they haven't played each other for almost 3 years. Gael will have the advantage of having already played a match in the desert. But I do think that where Felix is at right now compared to where Gael is at right now, Gael in his last year on tour, 148 in the world. Felix Auger-Aliassime, I would probably say last year was one of, if not his best year on tour, and he's currently inside the top 10. And I think he'll probably be in another ATP Tour finals come the end of the year for the 25-year-old. And I do expect him to beat Gael Monfils, probably in straight sets. Coming back to this Tsitsipas and Shapovalov match, by the way, we have Tsitsipas here, 2-3, 30 love. If there's any drama, break points, or anything beyond that, I will let you know. But for now, going to keep on going with the draw on some of these matches that are to come. Flavio Cobolli. In form, Flavio Cobolli is going to be playing Miomir Kecmanovic. Kecmanovic's form, by the way, isn't bad either. Of course, he beat Zverev in Acapulco recently. But that tournament in Acapulco is a tournament that Flavio Cobolli went on to win, beating Francis Tiafoe, of course, in the final, and Miomir Kecmanovic en route. He beat Kecmanovic in 3 sets in the semi-final, but it was a 6-4 in the third set, so it was a fine margin. But Cobolli there, winning the title, was a very impressive run. And yeah, coming up against Miomir Kecmanovic. Kecmanovic, by the way, overcoming Daniel Altmaier today, with Altmaier retiring hurt in the second set. But Kecmanovic was very much on top of that encounter. The head-to-head, by the way, between Kecmanovic and Cobolli reads 1 each, with Cobolli getting that win in Mexico recently. Their only previous match, by the way, was 4 years ago in Naples, a straight sets win for Miomir Kecmanovic. But Cobolli is an infinitely better player today compared to where he was at then. And his trajectory is definitely heading upward. He's currently ranked 15. I know Vanch has him finishing the year top 10. That, for me, might be a little bit optimistic. But then again, though, I also have Flavio Cobolli in my semi-final via the TNNS app map. Do join our fantasy league via that, by the way. Just check out Talking Tennis in the fantasy league on the TNNS app. So do join us there and see how you get on against me. But I've got Cobolli in the semis. But that, of course, also means I've got him beating Miomir Kecmanovic and extending that advantage. And I think he's going to do it in 3 sets once again. Jenson Brooksby had a really good win today, by the way, over Alexei Popyrin. I do think Popyrin's confidence is shot at the moment, and he looks a shadow of the player that he was when he won the Canada title 18 months ago. But nevertheless, Brooksby took full advantage of that and was easily the better player. I think he's enjoying life in the desert, and I think he's enjoying the conditions that they offer. He's going to be coming up against Francis Tiafoe in the second round. Tiafoe, of course, was in the Canadian Open final recently before losing that final to Kaboli. So there is some pretty good signs for Francis, and he does tend to perform well in North America, albeit a little bit later on in the year, more often than not. However, what doesn't read well for Francis is his head-to-head with Jenson Brooksby, with Brooksby leading the head-to-head 3-0, 2 of which came on the outdoor hard in Washington in 2021 and Atlanta in 2022. They also played in the Houston final on clay last year, which Jenson Brooksby won. Obviously, notoriously slow conditions, those. So Brooksby has played a match. Francis hasn't in this Indian Wells. Brooksby looked very good today. Tiafoe's consistency is still not quite there for me, despite that run to the Mexican Open final. But it's the head-to-head that leads me to think that Jenson Brooksby's winning this encounter, albeit I do think it'll probably be in 3 sets. Brandon Nakashima is going to be coming up against Hugo Garabelli in the next round after Hugo Garabelli beat Dam today, 7-6, 6-3. Nakashima, by the way, the 28 seed, the head-to-head with Hugo Garabelli reads as follows. They've not played each other. Garabelli, by the way, currently ranked 67, and Nakashima is ranked at 30. They did play each other, by the way, in qualifying anyway for the Madrid Masters, which Nakashima won. And I make Nakashima the slight favorite for this one. In fact, maybe even a warm favorite. I'll even go for a straight sets win for Nakashima, especially if he has a good serving day. Berrettini against Alexander Zverev. If this was a match, by the way, in 2022, 2021, 2019, 2020, this would have been an absolute classic and one to really look forward to. Their head-to-head, by the way, reads 4-3 in favor of Alexander Zverev. And curiously enough, despite the fact that I obviously say that Berrettini's best years may have been behind him, the 2 of the 3 wins that Berrettini has on this surface have come in the last 3 years, albeit that one of them came on the grass at Wimbledon, where I would expect the conditions there at Wimbledon to favor Berrettini. That was in 2023, by the way, the round of 32. And then Berrettini won the most recent clash on the clay in Monte Carlo. That was an epic match that finished 7-5 in the third. It was one of the best matches of the year. But Zverev, I think, was going through a pretty sticky spell in form back then. Zverev's wins, by the way, have come in Rome, Shanghai, Madrid, and also at the Nitto ATP finals, albeit that was via retirement with an injury for Berrettini. So they've not played on outdoor hard that often. In fact, it looks like they've had just one match on outdoor hard. That did go the way of Zverev in the aforementioned Shanghai, albeit that was in 2019. So they've only played each other once in the last 3 years, and that was on the clay in Monte Carlo last year in that epic encounter we just highlighted. But Berrettini really struggled today and maybe was a bit fortunate to come through in that match with Mannarino, both of them struggling big style physically in the third set. I think that should bode well, therefore, for Alexander Zverev, and I do expect him to win in straight sets. Ben Shelton, Riley Opelka prevailing 7-5, 7-6 over Ethan Quinn earlier today. So he's now going to come up against the number 8 seed, Ben Shelton. Their head-to-head, by the way, reads excuse me, 2-0 in favor of Ben Shelton. So that's good news for the world number 8, who's coming up against the world number 68 in the form of Riley Opelka. Those two matches, by the way, both came in 2024, but both on outdoor hard courts in Cincinnati and Tokyo. I do think Shelton is a slightly better player since then. Not quite sure where we're at with Riley Opelka. He's only 28, but in some ways feels as though he's a bit older, with all due respect to Riley. And I think that Shelton's improvements to his game and also his form this year, won the title in Dallas recently, looked good in Australia until he went out in straight sets to Yannick Sinner, who, by the way, could well be in his path here in the desert. Shelton at Indian Wells, by the way, I think is due a good run. It's not quite happened for him there yet in the desert, but last year in Indian Wells, of course, he got to the quarterfinals before losing to eventual champion Jack Draper, a fellow lefty. But I do expect him to beat Riley Opelka, and I do expect him to do it in straight sets. Adam Walton is going to be coming up against Lerner Tien, and I think this is a nice draw for Lerner. Walton, by the way, did well today to come through against Quinton Hallis, 6-3, 6-3. So a comfortable win, and it was as comfortable as the scoreline suggests. The head-to-head, by the way, between Walton and Lerner is 1-0 in favor of the world number 27, Lerner Tien. Australian, of course, Adam Walton is 91 ranked. Age is very much on Lerner's side. He's 6 years the junior of Adam Walton. Adam Walton, 26 years old, compared to Lerner Tien, 20. Also, of course, Lerner will have the left-handed nature that he has in his favor. And he's had a pretty good start to the year as well, none more so than in Australia as well, where he had a great run there before going out in the quarterfinals. And here, I think he's going to continue that reign of form. By the way, the one winner he had over Adam Walton did come in North America on a hard court in Delray Beach last year, and it was a straight sets win. And I expect Lerner Tien to win in straight sets once again. Davidovich Fokina is going to be coming up against Svajda. Svajda had a really good win against an off-color Marin Cilic today, 7-6, 6-4. It was probably even more comfortable than this. Cilic had a real late rally and made Svajda have to try and serve it out twice. So a bit of a nervy end to that match for the American wildcard, but he eventually got over the line. I do think Cilic kind of gave it away a little bit, especially that first set tiebreak, where there were one or two too many errors from Marin, and he wasn't quite on it and did have a bad return day as well. That being said, great win for Svajda to set up this clash with Davidovich Fokina. Svajda, by the way, and Davidovich Fokina, their head-to-head reads as follows, with the Spaniard having a 1-0 head-to-head. Of course, having played just recently in Dallas, a 6-4, 7-6 win for the Spaniard just a few weeks ago. And I do expect Davidovich Fokina to extend that to 2-0 in this head-to-head with a straight sets win over Svajda. Marcos Giron, 3-set win today over Navoni. Really good win for him to set up a clash with the 12th seed Jakub Mensik. Mensik, of course, in excellent form himself, but a really good win for Giron, I felt, today over the tricky opponent Navoni. In fact, I think I had Navoni as the favorite to win that. Mensik and Giron, they have played once before. Mensik has a 1-0 head-to-head advantage over the American. That one match came at Wimbledon last year with Mensik winning in 4 sets. I think Giron does move pretty well on the grass, but Mensik's serve there was just too big. And Mensik, as I say, is in really good form, having beaten Yannick Sinner recently, very impressively, and was doing really well in Australia before he withdrew through injury. He was going to play Novak Djokovic in a match that I thought Mensik had a great chance of winning. So the 20-year-old number 12 seed coming up against the 32-year-old more experienced Marcos Giron. Giron on home turf, but Mensik has all the weapons. As long as his serve holds up, even in the slow conditions, I do expect him to beat Giron and in straight sets. Karen Khachanov against João Fonseca Is this the match of the round? Quite possibly. João Fonseca, by the way, good win for him today. Collignon was serving for that first set, but João did really well to break back. And then once he won that second set by 7 points to 2, where his forehand was firing big style. And despite the slow courts in Indian Wells, he was able to penetrate Collignon. He will find it much tougher to do so against Khachanov, but we'll come to that in a moment. He then broke Collignon quite early in the second set and had a really good serving day as well. That's a great win for Fonseca, and to get it done in straight sets in particular. Khachanov, though, in terms of him being able to get through him, I think Fonseca will find it a lot more difficult, and also probably won't find Khachanov as quite as mentally fragile as what Collignon was, particularly when he was serving for that first set. They have played once before. It was on indoor hard at the Paris Masters last year, where João Fonseca lost in 3 sets. So it was close. And I expect this one to be close as well. But I'm just leaning Khachanov in 3 really tight sets. Zizou Bergs is going to be coming up against Tommy Paul. Bergs had a nice, comfortable win, one that I did anticipate today. A straight sets win over Jan-Lennard Struff, who it feels like is coming towards an end. I hope I'm wrong, but I think those hip issues, since he had those hip issues, Jan-Lennard, he hasn't quite been the same player for me over the last couple of years. Tommy Paul, by the way, is going to prove, though, a lot more difficult an opponent for Zizou. If we have a look at their head-to-head, we will see that they've not played before. The 24-ranked Tommy Paul and the 47-ranked Zizou have never played. Zizou, by the way, 26 years old compared to the slightly more experienced Tommy Paul. So it's a bit of a tricky one, a bit of one we don't really know. But Tommy Paul last year in the desert got to the round of 16 before going down to Daniel Medvedev. He did come through Cam Norrie in straights and Boyer in straights before that. In 2024, though, of course, he also lost to Medvedev then, but that was a much more painful loss because it was in the semi-finals. And really, Tommy had great chances to win that match and make the final, where he would have played Carlos Alcaraz. And I think he would have probably posed a bigger threat than Daniil did in the eventual final. So, yeah. But Tommy Paul here, even though they'd never played before, I make him a warm favourite, and I'm going to go for him in straight sets. Okay, let's come back to Stefanos Tsitsipas against Denis Shapovalov, which is looking pretty tight here at 30 all. $30 all becomes 30-40, match point Shapovalov. Okay, match point Denis Shapovalov. Let's talk you through this point. Tsitsipas serves down the tee, backhand return, forehand from Stefanos, backhand from Shapovalov, forehand just over the net, that one from Tsitsipas. There was a lot of low net margin here. Really aggressive play from Stefanos, but Shapovalov is equal to it. Now it's on the backhand side. Shapovalov on the attack. Shapovalov should put the volley away. Doesn't. Oh, but Tsitsipas should have got the forehand over the net, but doesn't. And Shapovalov screams with delight. cups his ear, and now takes his hat off and gives a warm-ish handshake, shakes the umpire's hand. Denis Shapovalov is delighted with that. Again, just does this with his ear. I think he was kind of relieved because really Tsitsipas should be getting that forehand over the net into the open court. What a late rally we had there. And Stefanos Tsitsipas loses in 3 sets to Denis Shapovalov. Another new low in the recent career of Stefanos Tsitsipas, whose career is just going from bad to worse at the moment, from being a potential Grand Slam champion to, I don't know where we're going with Stefanos Tsitsipas right now. Are we going to be outside the top 50 at some point this year? I mean, the way he's playing, he's currently 43 in the world. Is he losing any points compared to last year in Indian Wells? I think he is now at number 50 in the world. He's behind Marin Cilic, Thomas Mahac, Alexei Popyrin, who also lost today, by the way. Yeah, Shapovalov is through to the next round in Indian Wells. Well. I just don't know where we're going. But great win for Shapo, by the way. 6-2, 3-6, 6-4. Shapo, by the way, was up a set and a break, but lost that advantage, and Tsitsipas did well to fight back to win that second set. The third set was so nip and tuck, comfortable holds until that final game, where suddenly Shapovalov gets to 30-40, and he does it. Performance rating today, by the way, from Tsitsipas, 6.7. At the net, a disappointing day for Stefanos, 10 from 15. Also in the rallies, over 9 shots. Shapovalov won 80% of those rallies. And Stefanos is not getting the kind of damage off the forehand that he used to get. The backhand, of course, is still a weakness. I don't see any improvements in the serve. And overall, the package of Stefanos Tsitsipas is just going down. And I think probably the biggest element is a lack of motivation, either to improve or to just chase balls down and work on the tour. We heard some comments from Goran Ivanisevic in the past regarding his maybe lack of work ethic, and the coaching decisions that he makes are just equally bizarre. 1 minute the father's the coach, then he's out, and he's also explaining how he's not coming back. Then he's back and he's firing another coach. Then he's employing another coach and having him for a few weeks and then getting another one. Then the father's back in the box. Then he's going to take a back seat role. Then he's got a front seat role. It's just all over the show, just like his tennis. But great win for Denis Shapovalov, by the way, who sets up a clash in the next round with Thomas Martin Etcheverry. Let's have a quick look at their head-to-head before we bring this to a close. Thomas Martin Etcheverry, by the way, of course, is seeded, which is means he won't have played a match. He's seed number 29. But Shapovalov is going to be a really tough match for Etcheverry. In fact, of course, Shapo and him have played once before, with Shapo winning that clash, by the way, in straight sets on the clay as well. I would have probably made Etcheverry a slight favourite on the clay, particularly if they played today. They are similarly ranked, with Etcheverry ranked in 31 spot in the world, with Shapo 39 in the world. Regarding recent form, well, Shapovalov obviously winning a 3-set match today will do him a lot of good. But Shapo in Dubai lost to Carreño Busta in straight sets. And in Dallas, he made the semis before losing a 3rd-set tiebreak to fellow lefty Ben Shelton. Shapo lost in the second round this year of the Australian Open. In Brisbane, he lost to Collignon, who lost, of course, today to... that was in the round of 32, by the way, in Brisbane. Collignon lost to Shapo, lost to Fonseca today. As for the form of Etcheverry, well, he is in Is he in the best form of his life? Quite possibly. Won the title in Rio in an epic manner, where he came through in a third set tiebreaker against Kopchiva, and then won the final 6-4 in the third over Tabilo. So, yeah, he must be feeling good about himself. He then obviously pulled out of the Chile Open to give himself plenty of rest time before playing in Indian Wells. But I think I'm going to go for Shapo in this one. And I'm going to go for him to win in 3 sets to extend his head-to-head advantage to 2-0. Thanks for joining, and you know the drill. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.